Thank you so much for tuning back in with LaFonda's Crochet. Today, I will be showing you guys how to make this gorgeous crochet baby blanket. I will be using 4 different types of purple. One is a dark purple. The other one is going to be orchid. And then this one here is amethyst. And then I'll also be using the white yarn. We're going to be using a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook. So a heads up about this this particular pattern, we're going to be doing squares. So I'm going to show you how to do each individual square, and then you're going to make as many as you want, depending on how big you want the blanket or the throw, or you can make a king size blanket, you can make a twin size, a baby blanket. For this tutorial, I'll be doing a baby blanket. So however big you want the blanket, then that's how many squares that you need to make. So I'm going to show you how to do the individual squares, and then I'm going to show you how to join. All right, so let's go ahead and let's jump right into it, guys. Okay, so to start with this pattern, we are going to start with a magic circle. Now you can do this different ways. Either you can chain 4. You can do a slip knot, you can chain 4, and then you can slip stitch into the first chain, or you can do it this way. So you just wrap it around your fingers like this, and then you will put your crochet hook under that first one, and then pull this second one here through like this here, and then you would just chain. Whoops. If I can get that through here. Okay, so either way you want to do your magic circle, that's what we need to get done here. All right, so we already have this first one here. Just zoom in a little bit. All right, so you have that one chain right here. So we're going to do 2 more. So you're going to yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through. All right, so this is going to count as a double crochet. All right, so we're going to do 2 more double crochets into this circle. All right. All right, so we're going to yarn over. We're going to go into the circle. You're going to pull up a loop. Then you're going to pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, now we have 3 double crochets, because remember this first one also counts as a double crochet, and then 2, 3. We are going to chain 2. 1, 2. We're going to go back into this circle, and we're going to do 3 double crochets. So it's 1, 2, 3. All right, so we've got our 3 more double crochets. So now we're going to chain 2. All right, so you're going to do this 2 more times, and you can pull that close a little bit if you want to do that. All right, so we're going to do 3 double crochets inside the circle, chain 2, and then 3 more double crochets, and then I'll meet you back here. Okay, so once you have did the 2 more pair of the 3 double crochets, so we did the first, the chain 3, and then 2 double crochets. We did the chain 2, and then 3 double crochets, and then chain 2, 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. So at the last of the 3 double crochets, you're going to chain 2, and then you're going to slip stitch at the top of this chain 3 here. All right, and then we're going to, I'm sorry, whoops. All right, so we're going to slip stitch to get over here into this space. All right, so we're going to slip stitch here into this first stitch. And then we're going to slip stitch into this second stitch here. Then now we're going to slip stitch into the space as well. All right, now from this space, we are going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And don't forget, the chain 3s counts as a double crochet. So now we're going to put 2 more double crochets into this space here. So it's 1, 2. So we have 3 double crochets. Now in the same space, we're going to chain 2, and we're going to put 3 more double crochets into that same space. So we're going to chain 2, and then we're going to do 3 more double crochets into this same space. Now we're just going to do a chain of 1 to get over to this next space. So just one chain 1. Now in this next space, we're going to do the same thing we did over here, and we're going to do it in each space around. So we're going to do we're going to do 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. So after the chain 1, we're going to do 3 double crochets, and then a chain 2, and then 3 double crochets. All right, so we have 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, and then we have a chain 1. In this next space, we have 3 double crochets, a chain 2, 3 double crochets, and guess what it's going to be next? You right. Chain 1. Yes. All right, so in these next 2 spaces, this space here and then this space here, we're going to do 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, and then we're going to chain 1, and then go into this space and do 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, and I will meet you back once we get to after those 3 double crochets. I'll meet you back. Okay, so we have done the 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets in that space, and in this space we did the same thing, 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. Now you're going to do a chain 1, and we are going to slip stitch in the top of that chain 3. All right, now we're going to slip stitch in the next chain here at the top, this next stitch, sorry, and we're going to slip stitch into the next stitch at the top. All right, now this is where we are going to cut our yarn, and then you're going to be adding the lightest color yarn that you have. Now I will be using purple, but if you want to use you can use a blue, like 3 different colors of blue, red, brown, just whatever colors you want. So I'm going to go ahead and get that other yarn. Okay, so I've already cut my yarn and just pulled that a little bit. All right, and so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be attaching that lighter color yarn. We're going to be attaching it in this space right here. So this is where we're going to be attaching it, right here where this left off. So I'm just going to get that yarn, and this is the orchid one I'm using. I'm just going to make a slip knot. And then go ahead and insert my hook in that space where I'm going to want to attach it. And then just pull it through. Now you want to hold that there so you don't want to pull it all the way through. All right, and then you're going to chain 3 with this yarn. Now, if you don't want to cut that yarn, I find it easier to just go ahead and cut it off. But you don't have to. You can carry it over if you want to do that. But it would really be no point because you're not going to use the white. But if you just didn't want to cut it just yet, but I'm just going to, I cut mine, and then when I do my 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets here, then I'm just going to hide these little tails in it. So the first chain 3, it does count as a double crochet, so I'm going to do 2 more double crochets, and you're just working over those 2 tails. Now, once you have done those 3 double crochets, we're going to do a chain 2. Right, and then we're going to do 3 more double crochets into this same space. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3. All right, and don't forget we're still working over those tails. All right, now we're going to do a chain 1, and this is just to kind of get over these 3 double crochets here. Now we're no longer working over the tails, so if you want, you can go ahead and cut them off, or you can just kind of put them to the back, however you want to do it. All right, so we're going to go into this next space here. All right, so this is where it gets just a little bit tricky. All right, so we are going to do 1 double crochet. All right, now we are going to do a long front post treble crochet. So to do that, and let me just zoom in a little bit so you guys can kind of see. All right, so to do that, we're going to wrap the yarn twice. So you're going to wrap once, and then you're going to wrap it again. Okay, so you're going to have 1, 2, 3 here. Now we're going to go into this middle stitch here, the middle double crochet. So you have 1, you got 2, and then you got 3. We're going to be going around this post, this middle post right here. All right, so we're going to do a front post double crochet. So how to do that, you're going to go inside this way, and then you're going to kind of push it forward. So you see how it's looking? That's how you're going to go in. So again, you're going to wrap it twice, and then you're going to go in this way. All right, and then you're going to grab your yarn, and you want to pull it kind of, make sure it's up here at the top. So when you're pulling, pull it up maybe about 1 inch, because you want it to extend. Okay, and then we're going to yarn over, and we're going to pull through 2, and then we're going to yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, so we want to make sure that it's the height that it needs to be to reach up here. All right, and then we're going to do 1 more double crochet into that same space. All right, now we're going to chain 1, and we're going to go into this next space right over here, and we're going to do the same thing that we did over here. Okay, so on this round, all your corners are going to be the chain, the 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. So that's going to go for all your corners. Okay, so we're going to go into this space, and we're going to do the same thing that we did over here. Okay, so on this round, all your corners are going to be the chain, the 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. So that's going to go for all your corners. Okay, so we're going to go into this space, we're going to do 3 double crochet. And we're going to do a chain 2, and then go right back in that space. We're going to do 3 more double crochet. All right, so we're going to chain 1. All right, so this next space, we're going to do the same thing that we did over here with the long front post treble crochet. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to do 1 double crochet into the space. After that, chain 1, and then we're going to wrap it once, wrap it twice. Okay, we're going to go into that middle double crochet here, and we're going to do a long front post treble crochet. So you're going to go from from back to front. Make sure it looks like this here. You're going to pull that yarn through, pull it up about an inch, then pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And then we're going to do a double crochet into that same space. All right, so you're going to repeat this around until you get back here. We're going to do a chain 1, and then we're going to do 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. We're going to then do a chain 1. You're going to do a double crochet. You're going to do a long front post treble crochet and a double crochet here, chain 1. You're going to do 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, and then here you're going to do a chain 1, and then down here at the bottom you're going to do a double crochet and a long front post treble crochet, and then a double crochet here, and then I'll meet you back when you get down here. Okay, now once you have gotten to this part, what we're going to do is we're going to chain 1, and then we are going to slip stitch at the top of this chain 3. All right, now you're going to slip stitch into the next stitch, and then we're going to slip stitch into the next stitch. All right, now we have made it back to this space. We're going to slip stitch in this space. Now we're going to do a chain 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, and this chain 3 counts as a double crochet. So now we're going to put 2 more double crochets into this same space. All right, and we're going to do a chain 2, and then we're going to put 3 more double crochets into that same space. 1, 2, 3. Then we're working our way around. We're going to do a chain 1. All right, in this next space, we're going to do a double crochet. All right, and then remember we're looking for that middle double crochet here. We're going to do a long front post treble crochet. So you're going to go around 1, you're going to go around 2, and you're going to go around that post, and then pull that up about an inch. You're going to go through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through 2. Then we're going to do another double crochet. And then we're going to chain 1. And you're going to do the same thing here. So in between the corners, that's what we're going to be doing. we're going to be doing a double crochet, and then we're going to do a long post treble crochet. I'm sorry, a long front post treble crochet. And then a double crochet. Then we're going to chain 1. And then we're at our corner again in this space. We're going to do 3 double crochet. Chain 2, 3 double crochet. All right, and we're going to repeat that all the way around until we make it back to here. And then we're going to slip stitch into the top of our chain 3, and I'll meet you guys back. Okay, now we have made it back to the beginning of that. I have cut my yarn, and I slip stitched into that first chain 3, and then I also slip stitched in the next 2 stitches, and then that's when I cut it. Okay, so now I am going to attach the next color here in this space where I left off. Right, so I just made a slip knot. I'm just gonna put my crochet hook through here and just attach this yarn. You can attach it however you choose. This is just the best way for me to attach it. Alright, so we are going to do a chain 3. Alright, now we're going to do 2 more double crochets into the space. Okay, now we're going to do a chain 2. Alright, and then we're going to do 3 more double crochets into the same space. And make sure you're working over your tails. You can cut them at the end once you're done with your square. So it's 1, 2, 3. Okay. So now we're going to do a chain 1. Right. We're going to go into the next space here. I'm going to do a double crochet. All right. Now we're going to go into the middle post here. With those 3 double crochets there, we're going to go into this middle post. We're going to wrap it twice. We're going to do a long front post treble crochet around this middle post here. So you're going to pull up a loop. And make sure you kind of pull that, you stretch it out a little bit, at least an inch. Right. Pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and we're going to do another double crochet into that same space. Alright, we're going to chain 1. We're going to go into this next space here. I'm going to do a double crochet. Alright, Now we're gonna go into this long post, I'm sorry, long front post treble crochet. So we're gonna go around this one here in the middle. So it's different from this one, but we still gotta go around it, and make sure you just go right underneath it right here. So we're gonna wrap it around twice, and we're gonna go right underneath it like so. And we're gonna pull up a loop. Make sure you pull at least about an inch. Pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and then we're going to do one more double crochet. Alright, and we're going to chain 1. Now we're going to repeat this all the way around. So in this space here, you're going to do a double crochet, and then you're going to do a long front post treble crochet right into this middle stitch here, this middle post, I'm sorry. And you're going to do another double crochet into that same space, and then chain 1. And then in the corner, remember, we do our 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. Okay, so go ahead and meet me back at this. We're going to go all the way around into each space, and we'll meet back here. Okay, now, so when you make it back around, you go ahead and slip stitch into the top of the chain 3, and then you're going to slip stitch into that next stitch, and then you slip stitch into the next stitch, and we're going to repeat that one more round, going around all the way around. So you're going to slip stitch into the space, you are going to chain 3, do 2 more double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, and then you're going to do your chain 1, and then you're going to work into that next space, and we're going to repeat that same pattern that we just did for the first row. So each color is going to get 2 rows. So the white was 2 rows, and then my orchid is 2 rows here, and then the amethyst is also 2 rows. And so now we're going to be working on going into our third color, and this should be the darkest color that you're going to be using. So let's go ahead and start going into that one. Okay, so now we're about to add on the third color here. I have made my slip knot, and I'm going to go into where I left off and go ahead and attach that. Alright, you're going to pull through. You're going to go ahead and do a chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to do 2 more double crochets into that same space. And make sure you are working over those tails. Make sure it gets secure. Then we're going to do a chain 2 and 3 more double crochets into that same space. Alright, and then we're going to do a chain 1. We're going to go to the next space here. We're going to do a double crochet into this space. And then we're going to do a long front post treble crochet. So you're going to wrap it once, and you're going to wrap it twice. We're going to go into that middle stitch here. We're going to go around that post. All right, and we're going to pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through. We're going to do 1 more double crochet into that same space. All right, and we're going to chain 1. We're going to go into the next space. We're going to do a double crochet. All right, then we're going to go to the row below where that long front post treble crochet is, and that's the one we're going to work around. So we're going to wrap it twice, and we're going to go around that post. Make sure you're here at the top. Pull it up about 1 inch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. All right, we're going to do 1 more double crochet into that same space. So what you want to do is you want to continue that pattern all the way around until you get back to this part over here, to this side, and I'll meet you back. So go ahead and get that completed. You can pause the video and meet me back. Okay, so once we have made it back to the side, we're going to slip stitch at the top of that chain 3. And then we're going to slip stitch into the next stitch. And then slip stitch into the next stitch. All right, now we are going to go into that first space here. I'm going to slip stitch into that space. And we're going to do a chain 3. 1, 2, 3. We're going to do 2 more double crochets into the same space. And then a chain 2. And then 3 double crochets into that same space. 2, 3. Now we're going to do a chain 1. All right, and we're going to go into the next space here, and we're going to do a double crochet. All right, and we're going to find that middle stitch here. And we're going to go around this post. We're going to do a long front post treble crochet. So you're going to wrap it twice. I'm going to go around that post, pull up a loop. I'm going to get some more yarn here. And make sure you pull it up about 1 inch. Pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And we're going to finish that off with a double crochet. Okay, and we're going to repeat that pattern all the way around. Remember I said that each color gets 2 rows of its own, but this last row is going to be a little bit special. So once you have went all the way around and made it back to this side here, and go ahead and slip stitch, and I'll meet you back around here. When we make it back around here, I'll meet you guys in a bit. So go ahead and pause the video and go ahead and finish this round. Okay, so we have made it all the way around, and we're going to go slip stitch into the top of the chain 3 here. So we're just going to slip stitch there. Now to finish this off, we are going to do 1 more row before we start attaching our squares together. And so what we're going to do is you're going to slip stitch into this first stitch here, slip stitch into the next stitch. All right, and then we're going to slip stitch into the space here. Okay, now we're going to start it off the way we've been doing the other rows. We're going to do our chain 3. And then we're going to put 2 more double crochets into that space. I'm going to chain 2. and then we're going to do 3 more double crochets into that same space. All right, now this is where it gets different. So instead of going into this next space like we would normally do, so we're not going to go right into this space, okay, because this is going to be like our finishing off row. We're going to go into the middle chain or stitch, and we're going to do a double crochet in that, okay? So if you look this way, we have 1, 2, and 3. So we're going to go into that middle stitch right here. This is the stitch that we're going into. And don't forget how you look at your stitches. You see how this stitch is here? Here's the post, and then but the stitch for it is right here. So that's how we're going to be looking at this, okay? So that's how you know which one is your middle one. So this here is my middle one, and this is the stitch that I'm going to be going into. So I'm going to do a double crochet into that top stitch there. And we're not doing any chains. We normally do a chain 1, but we're not going to be doing any chain 1s on this last row. We're going to do our chain 2, but we're not for the corners, but we're not going to do our chain 1. Okay, so now we're going to go right into this next space and do a double crochet. And then we're going to wrap twice to prepare for our long front post treble crochet. We're going to go into that middle stitch there. We're going to pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and we're going to do our double crochet. All right, and remember, no chains. We're not doing the chain 1 here. So again, we're going to go into that middle stitch right here. See, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, here's the first one, here's the middle one, the one that we're going to be going into, and here's the other one. So we're going to go into that middle stitch and do a double crochet. All right, no chaining. We're going to go into the next space, and we're going to do a double crochet. Then we're going to prepare. So we're going to yarn over twice to go ahead and get this, do this long front post treble crochet. And we're going to go around this previous long front post treble crochet. Make sure you pull it up about 1 inch. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. All right, one more double crochet into that space. All right, one more time. 1, 2, 3. We're going into the middle one. So we got 1, we got 2, we got 3. We're going into that middle stitch, okay, with a double crochet. All right, so go ahead and repeat this all the way around until you make it back here. And once we get back here, I'll show you guys how to join your squares. Okay, so go ahead and pause your video and go around, and I'll meet you back here. Okay, so now that we have completed that, make as many squares as you want to make, or however big you want your blanket to be. If you wanted a baby blanket or a twin size, just whatever size that you want to make it. So now I'm going to show you how to join the squares together. Now go ahead and get your darning needle and whatever color yarn that you're going to use. I am going to be using white. White is okay to use. You can use whatever color that you see fit to use, okay? All right. So we're going to start here in the corners. So what you want to do is, you see where the spaces are? We're going to start going into the very first stitch here. So here's the space, and we're going to go into this first stitch. And so you're going to find that same place on your other square. So here is the space here, and we're going to go into the first stitch here and go underneath both loops. All right, so it's going to be looking a little funky at the beginning, but we'll go back and get all that straightened out. All right. Now, once we have went through that side, if you want, you can kind of hold it here because we're going to be hiding that with the other square. So don't worry about this part just yet. All right, so you're going to go into the next stitch that's right next to it, and you're going to go through both loops, and you're going to find the other one on the opposite side and go through both loops. And then you're going to pull that through. All right, so now once it's pulled tight, you won't be able to see that yarn, okay? So that's why I'm using white. White is okay to use if you want to use that. If you want to use the same color as your last color, a lot of people do that. You can do that, but I like white. All right, so we're going to go back into the next stitch that's next to this. And I'm just opening it so you guys can kind of see what it looks like, okay? So we're going to go into this next stitch here under both loops, and then the other stitch on the other side, I'm sorry, and then pull through that. And as I said, it's going to be looking a little funky at the beginning, but once you get all the way down to the end, you can just we're gonna straighten it out, so don't worry about that. See, we just straighten it out, and then you can't even see it once we do get it together. All right, so we're gonna go through the next stitch, both loops, and then the next stitch on the same side, on the other side, I'm sorry. Go through both loops, and you're gonna do this all the way down to the end. So once we get that out the way, then that's kind of how, and once you pull it, as you can see, you can't even see it how you're joining it. You can't see the yarn at all how you're joining it, okay? So go ahead and go all the way down, just going back and forth until you get to the end, and I'll meet you guys there. Okay, once you have made it to the bottom, now you can kind of tug on it a little bit just to make sure it's straightened out here. All right, so I'll show you how to attach it to another square when you're doing these. These can be a little bit tricky. All right, so you're here in this space. Excuse me. So you're going to go through this space. So you're going to take the needle through this space, okay? The last stitch I made, I was coming from the right side, and then it came out of this side through this stitch. So that yarn is in that stitch. So now we're going to take it through here, right through this space here. All right, and we're going to take it up and just make sure you have it your next square. Make sure it's right here, so we can make sure it's all lined up together. And you're going to take it through this space here. Okay, so once you give a little tug to it, you see how it kind of closes up there. See, once you give that tug, it closes up. So now, you see what this space here is. So we're going to go into that first stitch. So here's the space. This is where it's coming from, is right here. So we're going to go into this first stitch here that's right next to it. This one here. See, it's right next to it. Here's the space, here's the first stitch. We're going to go underneath both of these, both of those loops, and then we're going to find that same stitch here, the first stitch. You see, here's the space, and then here's the stitch. And we're going to go underneath those two, and then you're going to pull that through. Okay, so you see how it's looking? So it's going to line up here, and then when we attach the one on this side, then it'll start falling through here. All right, so now we're going to go into the next stitch here. Let's see. So that was the first one there. All right, we're going to go into this next stitch, and then we're going to go into the stitch next to it on this side. And remember, you're going back and forth, back and forth. Then we're going to go into that next stitch and make sure it's lined up with this side. Okay, so this is how it's looking so far. All right, so you are going to continue to go back and forth all the way down until you get to the end. And if you want, you can fold it up like this so you can kind of see which ones you're going into. If you want to fold it up like this instead of laying it down, and just do it until you get to the end. So you want to stop. This is where you want to stop. So you see where here are the spaces here on the opposite end. Okay, so you want to stop right here in this last stitch before that space. Okay, so that's where I will meet you back at that last stitch right before the space. Okay, so I told you guys to meet me back right here where these two spaces are. I have already finished it off. So you're just going to keep going back and forth into both of those stitches, and then you're going to tie it off and then weave in your ends here. And so this is the finished look on what it should look like. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start on the border. So with the border, we're going to start with I'm going to start with this color here. So not the darkest color that we did, but it's going to be the one before that. So this color here. So we're going to do a slip knot and just attach it to any corner. All right, and then just chain 3, and we are going to do double crochets around. So in each of the corners, you're going to do 2 double crochets, so that counts as a double crochet. So you're going to do one more double crochet, and then you're going to do a double crochet into each stitch around. So it's one double crochet, and here's another. And so you're just going to continue doing double crochets into each stitch around, and you do that all the way around, and I'll meet you guys back here. Okay, so once you have made it all the way around with all your double crochets, also I have put a note on there, but make sure you do 3 double crochets in each side. So here in each corner you want to do 3 double crochets, and then also here you want to do 3 double crochets in each corner. So each corner of the square you want to do 3 double crochets. Okay, so we've used this color, so now you want to go down to the next lightest color, which is going to be this color here. So I have this color, and I'm just going to attach it. You can attach it anywhere, so I'm just going to attach it here. Alright, and we're just going to chain 2, and we're going to do a half double crochet into the next stitch. So this is going to count as a half double crochet. So just in the next stitch, half double crochet. Next stitch, half double crochet, and we are just going to do half double crochets all the way around your blanket in this lighter color. So just go ahead and do half double crochets all the way around your blanket in this lighter color. So this color, it was the double crochets, and this color it's going to be the half double crochets. So I'll meet you guys back. Okay, so I have finished with the row of the half double crochet. So this row was the double crochet, and we did it in this color here. It's not the darker color, but it was the color that was right before the darker color. And then the half double crochet, I did it in the color before that. And now we are going to do our last row in white. So we have the darker color here, and then as you go down this way it gets lighter and lighter. So as we're going this way, it's going to get lighter and lighter. So go ahead and get your white, and you can just attach it anywhere. I'm going to attach mine right here. Also, when you hit the corners, you might need to add a few extra stitches to it, and that's on each row, just in case. On some rows it took that, like on my double crochet rows, I didn't I added the 3 right here, and then see on my half double crochet row I just put 1 in each one. So the last row, which would be my single crochet rows, so I attached my yarn here. The next stitch we're going to put a single crochet and a single crochet, and on this final row of your border we're just going to do single crochets all the way around. And this is how we are going to finish it off. It's going to be single crochets. So this is how we're going to finish off this blanket. It's just single crochets in each stitch, and as I said, when you get to the corners, if you want to add maybe 2 single crochets instead of one, and in some one or two of the stitches you can. It just depending on how it's looking. If it's kind of curving, you definitely want to add an extra stitch so that it doesn't curve up. So I meet you guys back after this last row of your single crochets. Okay, so when we get back around, we're going to slip stitch into the first single crochet and chain 1. Okay. And we're going to cut that and tie that off, and then just weave in your ends. If it cooperates with me. And here we have this beautiful, gorgeous blanket. You can't see it, but here you go. And like I said, I have about 9 squares here. But yes, I love the way this blanket turned out. And then this border here, yes. Okay. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you don't mind, go ahead and subscribing to my channel. I'm going to have so many more videos coming out, and you guys are going to love them. So thank you for tuning in today, and I'll talk to you guys soon.